might of a warrior who stands above all!
The only way to take down a demon is with brute force. I'm counting on you.
Let's go! Despicably strong and stubborn wretch. Let's finish him already! Time to act! Looking rough.
You'll accept this motion.
Get my blood pumping. One of us dies here today. Now you will learn what it means to fight the world's greatest warrior. What? My strength fails me. Pitiful. Like a child flailing their tiny, weak limbs. All my might. Not bad. Worthy of standing before me, at least.
We're fighting a losing battle. I'm getting out of here.
Surely you are not spent yet. Now it's my turn. You're finished.
Going down.
Now you will learn what it means to fight the world's greatest warrior. What? My strength fails me. Not bad. Worthy of standing before me, at least. You take that! Pitiful. Like a child flailing their tiny, weak limbs.
Let's get serious. Gotta be quicker than this. This can't be.
Now you will learn what it means to fight the world's greatest warrior. Not bad. Worthy of standing before me, at least. What? My strength fails me. Ready yourself. Looking rough. Take this. Take that. Pitiful. Like a child flailing their tiny, weak limbs. Take that! Let's see. I'll do that. Surely you desperate? That will have no effect on me.
Falling back. I'm sorry, I couldn't be of more assistance. Let's go.
You're finished.
Got this.
For this is proof of my superiority! You're finished!
Let's go. No.
All my might.
Be proud of your strength. There are so few who can fare this well against me. Now I shall allow you to bear witness to the entirety of my might.
Oh, I see you. Let's get serious. Oh, I see you. Going down.
This should do it! This should do it! How much better I am! No! Take that! Gotcha! of my superiority!
All my might. Now! All my might!
proud of your strength, but there are so few who can fare this well against me. Now I shall allow you to bear witness to the entirety of my might. I will never be defeated. Never! It is I who am the strongest!
Is that it? Take that! All my might!
How could I lose? I survived worse. So you are the one to bring me to my knees.
Our time has finally come. Well done for making it this far. But there is nothing more dangerous than a wounded beast. We shall need to hunt together to take him down. It is done. How would you have me conclude this matter?
That is not for me, but for the court-martials to decide.
And if I were to forgive you,
I fear I must refuse. And there's no need to guide me to the execution grounds. So close. I was so close! I was taken with Lord Louis Bu's strength. I fought on battlefield after battlefield, hoping I might die a warrior's death at his side. An honor Lord Cao Cao denied me. I hear that it was you who pleaded for my life. What did I do to deserve such cruelty?
The loss of a warrior such as yourself would be a loss to the entire realm, and you will never master true strength after death. It is a goal reached only through life.
Lord Zhenliao, there you are.
Lord Shu Huang.
I had heard that you would serve Lord Cao Cao, so I came to give you my greetings. I don't believe we've had a chance to speak in peace since I served under Lord Li Jue in Chang'an.
You were in a situation similar to my own, were you not? Lord Shu Huang, if I may ask, how do you serve two lords without any qualms?
Saying I have no qualms would be a lie, but so would denying my wish to pursue my path as a warrior. Even as an enemy, I was astounded by how you fought in Xiaopei. Fighting beside you would truly be a blessing. I can only hope that I may follow in your footsteps as a great warrior. Lord Guan Yu, Lord Zhenliao, I ask you both for your guidance.
So you would follow me just as I followed Lord Louis Bu? Lord Guan Yu, allow me to thank you for asking that my life be spared. For if I had died in Xiaopei, I would not have had the chance to meet a warrior like Lord Shu Huang again.
No thanks are necessary.
What say, the three of us spar to commemorate our gathering here?
A fine idea.
You'll hear no complaint from me. After all, a warrior speaks not with their words, but with their blade.
Lord Zuluan has a discerning...
Hello. Right then. Yep.
Listen. Yes.
This town has gotten bigger, now that I think about it.
Let's get serious.
Sorry. I'm going to withdraw.
Take this!
Take this!
Take with all my might! Let's end this.
Can't believe this.
The enemy officer has been defeated. This is it. Opening! Now! All my might! Gotta be quicker than that. Looking rough. Looking all my might. The enemy officer has been defeated.
I thank you.
Excuse me a moment. Shall we?
The enemy officer has been defeated. This territory is ours. Looking rough. Time for a good old fight. Get ready! Take this. Looking rough. Got this. Looking rough. The enemy officer has been defeated. Let's go. This territory. The enemy officer has been defeated.
Well now.
Lord Zuluan has a discerning eye.
Luibu has been defeated, and Yuan Shu's power is waning. Clearly, this leaves Yuan Shao in Ji Province as our greatest threat.
It's said that he has finally prevailed over Gong Sung Zun, and so now controls all 4 of Hebei's provinces. That makes his faction the most powerful in the land. There is no doubt what he will seek to do next.
Gain control over the Emperor.
We have also been preparing for a final confrontation, but we are hopelessly outmatched. If we make one false move, they'll overwhelm us with their superior numbers.
Oh? I wouldn't have expected that from you. Saying that we will be overwhelmed if we make a false move suggests that you believe we have a chance of winning.
Lord Goja.
I agree with you. No matter how strong Yuan Shao may be, there is a road to victory.
I'm glad you think so, but could you explain what that road is?
Essentially, it comes down to the difference between Lord Cao Cao and Yuan Shao. Yuan Shao insists on finding the ideal solutions to problems, and so he is overly cautious. Of course, that can also be a good thing. In times of peace, it might make him a wise ruler. But in these chaotic times, I believe decisiveness is more valuable than prudence. And most crucial of all, Yuan Shao is known to disfavor those who point out his weaknesses. A flaw like that in someone leading such a vast army is bound to create discord.
A fair point. So, are you suggesting he isn't worth worrying about?
I wouldn't go that far, but I do believe there is a more dangerous enemy out there.
You mean Liu Bei?
Lord Cao Cao has a fondness for him, so I shall say no more.
What is Liu Bei like? You were with him for a long time. I'd like to know more about him. So all the stories say. But it is folly to help anyone and everyone. A man with no backbone is unworthy of our trust. Cao Cao seems to think Liu Bei is capable of great things. If he is indeed comparable to Cao Cao, then we must crush him before he gains strength. And if he becomes a heartless monster like Louis Bu, all the more reason to destroy him. Frankly speaking, no. I have to assume that he may be planning something. I heard that while he and Cao Cao dined together the other day, a crash of thunder took him by such surprise that he dropped his chopsticks. And this man is meant to be destined for greatness. Of course I would be suspicious. But at least I now know that you think highly of him. I suppose I'll have to decide his worth for myself.
Nothing has changed since Dong Zhuo's rule. Just what is Cao Cao thinking? Treating His Majesty like this?
Well, he is the one with full control over the court. To him, the Emperor is a mere puppet. His Majesty might not speak ill of him in front of us, but surely he must be displeased.
Or perhaps he is afraid because he is unable to discern Cao Cao's intentions.
Have some respect. His Majesty would never fear a charlatan like him.
Well, I am certain our dear Emperor is pained at all the tyrannical deeds committed in his name. Perhaps we should have forgone Cao Cao and entrusted someone with more prestige, like Yuan Shao.
Ah, but I hear that Liu Bei might also be worthy.
Ah, well met. On patrol, I presume?
It has grown late. Perhaps it would be wise to leave the patrols to the troops and rest.
Speaking of which, we shall do the same. We bid you good night.
I heard Lord Cao Cao's.
Oh. As expected, only you would be able to corner me undetected like that. But I know you mean me no harm. It's just that I was deep in thought for a moment there. You're as insightful as always. I'm glad we were able to meet here. There's a little matter I wish to discuss with you if you have a moment. Thank you. I knew I could count on your kindness. That's exactly why I feel I can confide in you. After facing defeat in Xiapei, I prepared myself for my inevitable execution. I believed the blade of Lord Louis Bu should decay along with him, and I promised that I would ensure Lord Louis Bu was punished in the afterlife. Despite my conviction, Lord Cao Cao tried to convince me otherwise. He said he could not understand why a self-professed blade would choose to succumb to rust. He asked me to join him and said, "On the path before me lies what you seek." So you understand what he meant. I have yet to grasp the meaning of Lord Cao Cao's words. I was content to simply be a weapon for whomever I served. I sought nothing more than that. That is why I cannot understand. Lord Cao Cao seems to know what I seek, but I cannot even fathom what it is that we are walking towards together. Perhaps I must change under Lord Cao Cao's command, but I don't even know where to begin. You're right. There is no need to rush for an answer. Thank you. Talking with you always calms me and gives my mind clarity. I will continue to serve Lord Cao Cao as best I can, and continue to believe there is something waiting for me in the future. I was fortunate to have friends like Lord Guan Yu, to have training partners like Lord Shu Huang, to have advisors like Lord Xiahou Dun, military strategists like Lord Guo Jia and the others. And of course, you. There are many people from whom I can learn a great deal. There's not even a moment in which rust can form on this blade. And through further study, I'm sure to find the answer I seek. I'm in your debt.
Finally found myself a job.
Ah, I thought you might be home. Ambush successful, as it were. Oh, but I knew you were. I precisely aimed for a time when you would be here alone. I know how busy you often are, and sought to avoid adding any more stress. There is a reason for my actions. I'd like to ask you for a personal consultation. That is, an objective evaluation of yours truly. I'm pleased you think so. I mean, I know I'm the one who asked, but I hardly expected you to admit as much so readily. I believe I shall require a congratulatory drink to still my nerves. One moment, please. Good. That did the trick. Perhaps with this sudden visit and troublesome topic, you wonder why I've come to visit today. I wholly understand where you're coming from. Last we met, I spoke of you, my savior, as a tool to be used in my schemes. The discourteous nature of my words has hung like a stone around my neck. Once we became comrades, I intended to make my erroneous blunders clear to you, and yet my initial remarks were so unbelievably rude. Compared to the likes of Lord Shunyu, Gyojia, and Jiaxu, my lack of tactical acumen is wanting. When thinking of my blunt decorum after our meeting, I wish to crawl into a hole and disappear. Or for you to reprimand me with the greatest fury you could muster. Such desire filled my very being. And then to have you validate me so, against my expectations, I now find myself feeling dubious as a tactician. Yet overjoyed as a simple man. As such, I find my feelings in a state of abject confusion and contradiction. I must admit I find myself at a loss as to how I should go about resolving this cognitive dissonance. What? Should I continue as I have been? If you, a guardian of peace, say so, I could hardly object. I thank you for your words of encouragement. Somehow I find myself more motivated than ever, to never feel discouraged and never give up. That is my conviction. Lord Xunyu watches over me with affection, and Lord Gyojia always tries to get me to speak up. Lord Jiaxu gets up to all sorts of mischief, teaching me how to better think on my feet. And you bolster my motivation and allow me to indulge in such consultations. All in all, I suppose I won't run into any issues as long as I continue to do my best. The goal of today's ambush has been fulfilled. All that remains is to use this opportunity to further close the distance between us. Now come, let us drink through the night.
More customers always show up whenever Lord Guojia does. He's popular with all types.